welcome to a new, to be honest, music review video, but this is not a review, this is a top 10 list of 2015. Yes, I'm doing it on the day of 2016, the new year, but you know, what's the best way to start off the new year? Kind of talking about the old music right now. So I had a really tough time with deciding what albums were going to be on this list because technically this was a really good year for hip hop, and even lots of pop music came out that was really popping it. Get it? Anyways, but other than that, there were some disappointments. There was some albums too, but overall, this was a great year, especially. This is like the first year I would have put a country album on my top list, but I don't feel like I listened to it enough, but I'm going to review that album as soon as I finish really listening to it, because I don't want to just stick it on my list and then decide it didn't really belong there, but you know, we all make mistakes. I haven't listened to every album this year, but I have a list here of my top 11 albums because I kind of wanted to include all these albums on there somewhere. Okay, so for my number 11 pick, I chose Joey Badass's Before the Money, and what really interests me is this album really kicked off my year. This is like one of the first real albums I heard that came out. This came out, I believe, in February, and this is what I thought. I got like a $15 iTunes card, and his album at the time was $15, believe it or not. And I just really wanted to listen to it, and every track on there, great. It is a great album. It kind of reminds me of old rap, and he feels like he really has an emotional side to him and knows what he's talking about when he's rapping, and I really appreciate that. But anyways, continuing on, my number 10 album is Muse Drones, and if you listen to my review, I kind of dissed on it a little bit, but overall this album is so fun to listen to, and all those guitar riffs and the production values are awesome. Yeah, lyrically it is not the best album I've ever listened to, but it is a damn fun album to listen to, and it does have its flaws. I do like the concept of drones, but I feel like it could have been executed a little better, but you know, overall it's a great album, and it definitely deserved a spot on this list. Now, for my number 9, I chose Church's Every Open Eye. Now, I never thought I would be a fan of Church's, but when I listened to this album, I'm like, who could like them? They have these like bright pop synths in there. It's like an 80s almost vibe, and every song you just kind of want to start singing along, and I don't know, I feel like if they played this at a girl's, because definitely, they'll probably definitely play this at like Aeropostale or whatever, and definitely, I would maybe like start belching the lyrics out, because this album's so damn catchy and beautiful to listen to in a pop sort of way, and yeah, it's good stuff. Anyways, for my number 8, it is Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, what? It's this low on your list? Well, yeah, I'm not a big hip-hop guy. I like hip-hop, but, you know, it takes a lot for me to even put a hip-hop album on my top 10 list, and this definitely deserved a spot on the top 10 list because it's kind of like Joey Badass's album, but only it is 10 times better than that one, and that's saying a lot. So definitely check that out by now, which probably almost everyone has at this point. Then I went for number 7, Blind Guardians Beyond the Red Mirror. Now, you're going to be like, who the heck is that? And I never did a review for this. I haven't done a review for some of these, but, because, you know, school and everything. And plus, it takes a lot of work to think of reasons and all this, and it just takes time to make a review. Anyways, with this album, it it really brings my self back into metal albums in general, because it's really opera associated with fantasy, and it's metal at the same time, and it's like, yes, finally an album that's fantasy. And I don't know, there's a lot of albums like that, but this is like a hybrid between Dragon Force, Iron Maiden, and some Queen. If they all just, oh, and of course J.J.R. Tolkien. Wait, I think that's how you. I don't know. I'm tired. Okay. But yeah, just imagine the Lord of the Rings book writer all of a sudden having sex with all those artists, and bam, you have Blind Guardians, Beyond the Red Mirror. Anyways, continuing on, I said for my number 6, Lord Huron's Strange Trails. Now, I did do a review for this one. This was a great album lyrically, and at parts it does get a little boring, but the songwriting's so strong here that it's kind of hard to say, oh, this album isn't that good, but it is. It's really good. I mean, come on, it's in my forte, because it's like, it was meant to be a cinematic experience on a big screen, and then it's like, oh, we're just gonna make it a frickin' album instead. And props. It sounds good, it is good, and it definitely deserves a spot on my top 10 list. Now, continuing on, we have number 5, Mr. Wives, Our Own House. Now, listening to the first song I ever listened to by this band, Reflections, I was like, no, I'm never gonna listen to this stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy this album. Out of nowhere, I just decided I'm gonna try it out, and I love it. It is a great alternative album. If you like Imagine Dragons or any of those, you'd probably like this band. I would say they're 10 times better than Imagine Dragons, because Imagine Dragons aren't that good. But yeah, there's some really catchy songs like Hurricane, and Imagination Infatuation is really good. I wanted to do a review on this album so badly, but I didn't never find the time or the patience to just do it, I guess. For my next one, I have Carly Rae Jepsen's Emotion. Okay, let me explain that. This is like an album I didn't expect at all to be good. Good at all. And totally blew my expectations. Like, the first album she made with that Call Me Maybe song, holy crap, that was a piece of garbage. And then she comes out with this album, like, I'm gonna try and listen to that. And then I did, and you're probably like, why would you even try and listen to it? If, I was gonna make a funny review, probably out of it, and mention why I don't like her. And this album changed my opinion, like, forever on her, unless she decides to screw up on her next album, which I hope she doesn't. You know what the funny thing is? This album, like, I don't even think it's been on the radio, like, at all or anything, and this album definitely deserves its airtime. I mean, this is a great pop album. It's like 80s pop, and I don't know, it feels like there was so much work put into it compared to the other album. And I feel like this is like the underdog album of the year to me, because I thought she was going to make something crappy, and then all of a sudden she pops up. It's like, no, I'm going to make good music. I'm like, yeah. I always root for that. Shoot. Anyways, for my number 3 pick, I did Unknown Immortal Orchestra's Multi-Love. Anyways, why did I pick this one as my number 3? Well, it's so interesting. It's like, okay, this year was like 80s vibe written all over it, but this was like 80s vibe mixed with today's vibe, mixed with, I don't even know, there's some really cool tracks on here, like, of course, the title song, Multi-Love. I keep saying it like that, I don't mean to, it just comes out of my mouth like that. But anyways, this album really showed me a creative side to this genre alternative, and really, this is a really good album, and I still listen to it, like, on repeat a lot. But anyways, let's continue on to My number 2, Magnifique. Now this was really hard because Rat-a-tat is one of my favorite instrumental synth groups, and damn, this album's so good. But there was something about it that it was a little lacking, and I wanted it to be like total classical, like orchestra type of stuff. But you know what? They went back to the basics that they started with their first 2 albums instead of doing this overly weird production. But I enjoyed the crap out of this album for damn sure, and I'm glad I put this on my list. It was number 1 for so long, but there was just one album I could not make number 1, and that's, I needed to make number 1. That's Borns' A Dopamine. This album really showed me what pop could do and make me feel like it actually mattered because I don't know, I felt this came out at the right time for me, and I don't know, I wasn't expecting much out of this album because I didn't like 10,000 Emerald Pools at first. Then of course you get a listening to it and you're like, yeah, I can see it, and of course all these songs were written about this girl, and I even bought the CD and I already own it on my iPod or whatever, and it basically shows you how much I loved it, and I had to listen to the bonus tracks, and they're awesome, and I really appreciate this album coming out because it's good. It is really good, and it shows me that pop music can be also good. This year was so good with pop music. It's unbelievable how good it was. Anyways, this was my top 10 or 11 list. I would have put 15, but you know, I felt like I wasn't prepared for those other albums. I was prepared for these ones. So I will see you in my top 10 worst list.